Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Breakout Trading Answered, the show for breakout trading. We're going to be talking all things breakout trading. Welcome, Thomas. Isn't it great to be here?
Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. Hi, Andrew. It's absolutely fantastic to be here. We're breakout trading specialists. We love breakout trading, and I cannot be more excited to be here tonight. And actually, it's night for me here in Spain and talk about breakout trading.
Yes, excellent. We've got quite a few hellos in the chat. G'day, Dan, Thomas, Khalid, Hugo. Hey, Sco, good to see you here, and Jack as well. Okay, so Thomas, what is this show all about? What is this 5-part series we've decided to do for and why?
As you know, guys, 2022 is almost here, and that means that 2021 is about to end in just a couple of weeks. And we just thought, how about we just help you to accelerate the rest of your year? Because we have a couple of weeks left, but don't give up. That's still plenty of time to make a massive, massive progress. And that's why we decided with Andrew to jump on with you on stream like this and help you to clarify what you can do to end up your 2021 on a really, really strong note. So for 5 evenings, 5 days, 5 mornings, you'll have this opportunity to have us and talk to us.
Yes, exactly. So, what are we going to be covering in the show today? Well, we have a main theme. Obviously, the title of the show is "How to Finish Your Trading Year Strong," and then also we're going to cover some questions from you and from in the chat, and we've also got a special strategy review, right, Thomas, for the later in the show.
Exactly.
Excellent. So lots to look forward to. Now, if you've got any comments or questions, you can see there's a chat window to the right. I can see quite a few people are already using that. So please post any questions or comments as we go, and I'll be looking at those and we'll address some of those as we go today. So, shall we get started, Thomas? Are you ready?
Have you got some question for me?
We sure do have a question. Let me put this one up on the screen. This one is driving the main topic for today. Let me put this one up on the screen now. This one is a question from Jiri, and I think I might have that name wrong. Thomas, is that how I say it?
Well, we say Jiří, but that's okay.
It's a Czech name, right?
Right, correct.
Yep. Okay, so in Australian, we call it Jiri. Anyway, the question...
In English, you say just George. It's just George.
Oh, is it George? Okay, that makes it
yes.
All right, it's very early in the morning for me here, so I'm just getting started. So let me read the question for you here and we'll get into it. So, hello, Thomas. For the first, let me thank you for all your work, what you do for traders. I really appreciate it a lot. Recently, I bought your 9 to 5 exit plan and it's really awesome. Mainly the chapters about motivation and psychology speak a lot to me. I think motivation is one of the most important elements to successful trading. So can you speak a little bit more about motivation and how to be motivated for the long run?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, so of course, motivation is what we need to accomplish anything in life and in trading as well. So that's an excellent question. How do we keep ourselves motivated? And I'm going to share with you something very neat. That's something what I do to keep myself being motivated, and that really works. And that's something which I call a couch mentality. Did I pronounce it well, Andrew? Couch?
Yes, the couch. Yep.
Couch mentality. And this is a very, very powerful technique. And I learned this from, I don't know who was it actually, but it was some really productive and very, very successful guy. And he shared this somewhere. I don't really remember where it was even, but it works like magic. And it goes like this. Remember that you just ended up back home with your mom on her couch. Like, just imagine for some reason you lost everything, you have no job, you have no future, and what's even worse, you're there back on your mom's couch with your mom behind your back, telling you the whole time whatever mothers normally tell you. And now you're supposed, I can hear mine already. And now you're supposed to get out of this shit. Like, sorry, my English, like, excuse my English, but that's like the motivation for me. Like, I close my eyes and I'm literally visualizing myself in my 45 years being back to my mom's couch and have nothing, just some small trading account so I can do at least something. And now I need to figure out how to get out of that house as quickly as possible and become independent again. And if you do this exercise, now you just stay in bed, just close your eyes, and guys, just imagine this for a couple of seconds, like you're back in your mom's house on her couch. You don't even have your bed there anymore, and now you're there. Like how do you feel? Like seriously, what does it feel like? Type down. What is it like?
I'm not sure I want to share that publicly, what it feels like to be back living at home with my mum. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. So it's really bad. It's really bad. And so what you want to do, you need to figure out how to get out of this, whatever. And now you have no choice. You cannot have excuses. You cannot postpone your action. You cannot procrastinate. Like you have no choice, because every other hour or day there will be more and more painful. So you need to get out of there as quickly as possible, and you're forced to do that. So you need to make a plan, and like you have to, because there's no other version for you. There's no any other opportunity. So you need to make sure what is it you want, like very specifically, very precisely. And that's what I normally do. So let's say it's the beginning of the year, the end year, like this, and I'm totally stuck on my mom's couch, and like I have nothing, and I'm listening the whole day that I'm a loser of like all of the losers. But I still have 20K on my account, and I know that I can support myself from 2K a month. That's where I can get the cheapest room, and I can get independent, and then keep it from there. So my question is, how do I create 2,000 per month income as fast as possible, like the fastest way, like tomorrow? And then I'll sit down and I'll execute that plan step by step. So you need to know what you want from your trading. Like what is it you want to, in terms of income, how fast you want it. You must want it fast. Like, do you want 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10% return, 100% return, weekly, monthly, annually? You need to know what you want very specifically and why you want it. Not just like, I have nothing to do, so I came up with this idea. And then you write it down, and then you break it down into very specific steps. Like, what is the next step I need to do? Like, okay, I know I have 20K. I need to create 2K a month. What amount, or 1,500 a month? What do I do? How many strategies I can trade? 20K, that's a good account. Should I start with micro trading? Because with micro futures I can create a portfolio of 6, 7, 8 systems. That could already give me some stability, some consistency. How do I launch these strategies? What this strategy should look like? What should be the correlation? Like you write the plan, and then you start executing, and you will start executing with this idea: I need to get out of this situation as fast as possible. So you have no luxury of procrastination. You have no luxury of postponement. You have no luxury of excuses. You just need to go and move ahead. Will this do for you?
I think it's a really good way to look at it. What would you do if you started from the beginning and you had to have some quick progress? It really reframes the problem, doesn't it?
Because you have no other choice. So now you're really forced to create a plan. So you sit down and make a plan, right? Like, that's the easiest. And it doesn't need to be perfect. I know there are so many unknown, but a plan is better than no plan. Even a weak plan is better than no plans. So you will refine it on the go. So you will write them. Okay, I'm here with my mother. I have 2 hours a day. So 1 hour I will dedicate to looking for strategy. 2nd hour I will dedicate to learning what should be the ideal portfolio, and how quickly I can what is the fastest way to assemble one. And you just make this plan, and you break down your available time a day, what you can do during that day, and you start executing. And in 2 months you can be amazed how much you can do in 2 months, because there's no another choice. You have to.
Yeah. Sko mentioned in the chat this when you were talking about making a plan. He's got a good question. Let me just put this one up on the screen. How do you know when your goal or your plan is realistic? My portfolio seems to grow slower than in my dreams. Yeah.
Well, you don't know, but it's better to have some goal than no goal. So you need to be reasonable, right? Like you need to start working with the minimum you need. Like, of course, if you had 20K and you want to buy a Ferrari next week, next month, that's not an urge. That's nothing that you really need to do. Like you need to start with the very minimum, with the least step. So what would be your goal for the rest of the year? Like seriously, what would be the only goal you need to do by the end of this year? Because your mother just told you that if you manage and you be able to achieve this goal, you can stay for another 6 months. So you're buying time. But if you will not achieve that goal that you set for yourself, you'll be kicked out of your house. So what would be that goal for you? And it will be different for everybody. It can be goal like just create 5 strategies across five markets. Great goal. And you know you always can negotiate with your mom a little bit. So if it will be just 4 strategies instead of 5, I believe she still let you sleep on that couch. If it will be 0 strategies and you will file again, you might end up on the street.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice? So these are my first two advices, like couch mentality, know what you want and how you get there as fast as possible. So how about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I think actually I'd like to share a story I read in a book just recently. It's talking about priorities, how to prioritize your day, and I think the book is called First Things First by Stephen Covey, Covey. First Things First, and he talks about imagine you've got a glass cylinder sitting on a table, and this cylinder represents all the time that you have in the day. And then next to the cylinder, you've got rocks, gravel, sand, and water. The rocks are like the main priorities for the day. The gravel is like your day-to-day responsibilities. Sand is the interruptions, and water is, whatever else happens in the day. Now, if you think about like what most people will do is they'll pour the water into the glass first, which is just all the day-to-day stuff, the interruptions, and when they get to the rocks, what happens? It doesn't fit in the glass, right? They overflow. You don't get to, you can't fit it all in. And then he goes on to say, so what if you were to do it in the opposite way? What if you put the rocks in first, which are your big priorities or your main priorities, and then the gravel, the sand, and the water? What happens? It all fits, right? Because all the other parts fill in the gaps between your main priorities. So I thought that was a really good way to look at it, and it's something I've been practicing. Is that working on the big priorities first in the day, and everything else falls into place. And it's great in theory to say that. In practice, sometimes it's very difficult to do. But I've found for me, I have some main priorities, and I do them first in the mornings, and then worry about all the other stuff later. And it really does, even if it's only like half an hour in the morning to work on your main priorities, if you start working on those big rocks, it's quite surprising actually how much you can get done. So I really like that example from the book, and something to keep in mind.
That's great. That's great. Yes, and as you said, just 30 minutes a day, and that's it. Like you don't need hours and hours. You do these biggest priorities 30 minutes every day in the morning, and it's a snowball effect, right? Like keeps rolling, and at the end of the week, you'll be like, wow, I've solved a lot of essential stuff, and I did one giant leap ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we've covered 3 points so far, haven't we? So, the couch philosophy, you have to know what you want and why you want it. And then the second one was that you have to come up with a basic plan or a structure about how you're going to achieve that. And then I just spoke about doing your big rocks first and prioritizing your main goals before all the other day-to-day stuff and the interruptions and things. So that's 3 points. Have you got some more?
Well, so far we've talked about heavy lifting, right? This is
Yeah.
like this is a lot of heavy lifting, but I think there's also needs to be some balance between this heavy lifting and then kind of like celebration of small tasks, like really be also be in a good balance of being keeping pushing yourself ahead, like in a sense be a little bit harsh on yourself because you ended up on mom's couch, so you have no other way than to be harsh on yourself. But you also need to be gentle at the same time, and I think that this gentleness really uh, needs to be there as well. So I think like the fourth step is you really need to you really need to learn uh, rewarding yourself. And I was thinking, like seriously, when I started doing this exercise at the beginning of this year, I was thinking, okay, so what would be my reward? And for example, I love going to gym. I'm not a bodybuilder, but I just like staying fit because it gives me good feeling. So I was like, okay, if I get last 20,000 left on my bank account, I would definitely sacrifice $300 to buy the permission, the permanency to my gym. And then what I would do, I would reward myself. And for every second day, because I go on the second day, if my key tasks are done, I'll go to gym. If not, no gym. And that would really keep me motivated. But at the same time, I would feel I'm being rewarded for what I've just done. So I think that this reward part is also very important. How about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I like that. I like I track all the tasks that I do during the day and week and month, and it's good, I think, to go back and recognize all the things you've achieved. And I'm constantly amazed about all the things that I've done because I forget what I did last week and last month, and there's a lot of good stuff that we're all doing. So I think this point you're making about recognizing the progress and the things that you've achieved is very valid because it gives you a lot of motivation to keep going as well.
Yeah, yeah, celebration very important.
Yeah.
You just like you will achieve nothing by just being harsh at yourself. You'll probably drain up your energy very quickly. But if you
Mm.
keep a good balance between celebration and knowing some reasonable reward, reasonable compared to the situation you're at on your mom's couch, then I think that there can be you basically will start enjoying the whole process, and that's important. You have to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well said. Yeah.
Yeah. So we covered 4 points, right? That was our fourth point.
Yeah.
Fourth point. I have
Yep.
a fifth one for you, and
Ah.
then I know that this might not be for everyone, but it does work for me, and that's visualization. And I'm not necessarily talking about a visualization like I'll have a dream house or whatever and whatever. This is like long term visualization, but I'm more about this visualization of getting the task done by the end of the week. So, for example, I know that by the end of the week, I have to achieve something. I have to uh, do a strategy, portfolio test, assessment, research, whatever. And I'm imagining the end of the week, and I'm pretty much done with that, and I have this result, and I feel good about that result because that also releases a lot of dopamine. Like the project done releases dopamine in your brain, and you will feel awesome. And I do want this dopamine effect because it feels great. So I like this visualization. Like, okay, I set the task for me for the week, and I visualize now it's done. It's Friday or Sunday, and it's done, and I feel great, and I can rest, and I can enjoy this feeling of accomplishment. And I know, or I will have known that I've done something really. Oh, sorry. That I got really something crucial and essential to improve my situation rapidly. So visualization works great, but a lot of people talk about long-term visualization, but think about short-term, like 1 week visualization that will help moving your tasks ahead with good energy and with real desire to get them done.
Yeah. I like this point. I've always been a little bit of a skeptic about things like that, as you know, Thomas, over the years. But this year I've been reading a book. I've actually got it here on my desk because I'm reading it again, called Beyond Positive Thinking. There's a lot of mindset stuff in there. It's not a trading book at all, but they talk about visualization in the book. And so I've started doing that myself, making it part of my morning routine, and it's pretty amazing. And they explained a lot about how it works, how your subconscious gets used to this visualization and starts looking for opportunities to progress towards that. So I think I think sometimes it's looked at as a little bit of a woo-woo kind of thing, but I reckon there's something in it. So I'm glad that you raised that one.
And there's also this is also, first of all, you don't need to do it for a long time, just 5-10 minutes a day, it's enough. But there it triggers your creative part of the brain. So when you face some problem or challenge or any obstacle or hurdle, just visualizing being beyond that and having the desired result already stimulates the creative part of your brain, and there's a higher chance that you will also come up with some creative solutions towards moving even faster ahead. So that's another great thing about visualization. So that's probably my last one.
Okay, so shall we do a quick review of the 5 points before we move on?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to do it? I'm going to have to recall.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm only on my first coffee of the morning, so let's see how this goes. So the first one is the couch philosophy. You must know, you've got to figure out what you want to do and why you want it, and then also come up with a basic plan or structure and how you're going to achieve that. So that was the first 2 points. Then we talked about doing the big rocks first, which is prioritizing your main, your main priorities first, and then everything else in the day will fall in line. So that was number 3. Number 4, celebrate your progress. So even if they're just small steps, recognize them, reward yourself. And the last one was visualization. Did I get that right? Yes, I think I did.
Yes.
Surprising.
Yes, you did. Yes, great. You did it great. You visualized it.
I did visualize it. So,
Right.
So I think we're going to move on to the strategy review in a sec, right? But we've got a question here in the chat. Let me put this one up on the screen. This is from Max. Love the name Max. My son's name is Max. So this is Maximiliano. Sounds Italian or something. Is it a good idea to copy a portfolio in on a reliable site? That is, to get off the couch as soon as possible while building a portfolio.
What is it? I'm not sure if I understand what Max means by, is it a good idea to copy a portfolio on a reliable site?
Yeah, I assume that means maybe leasing or buying strategies or something like that. Max, if you want to just clarify in the chat, but I assume that means leasing or copying someone else's work to get a quick start.
Well, you know what? If it's something it's a reliable source, somebody trustful, somebody with trustworthy, credentials, somebody that it's not just another scam in this industry. I personally am okay with that, but I prefer mixture of these two approaches. It's okay, like you need to move forward fast. You know that you need a portfolio of 10 strategies. That's okay. List 5 of them or whatever, like get them wherever you want. But also you will need more. Like you'll get out of the situation in a couple of weeks. You will need more. You need to learn how to do that. You want to run professional business, create a stable income. So you need to learn it anyway. So do it half, and then break down all the steps you need to do to create the rest for yourself. I would never ever do 100% portfolio just from other strategies. First of all, I don't trust. I only trust my own stuff. And second, learning is the key. We need to learn fishing, not buying fishes, long term.
Yep, exactly. Actually, Max clarified like Striker or some kind of similar service.
Yeah, great. Start with that, but do it just half your portfolio, and then second half just build your strategies.
Yeah, I don't know if you keep track of the Striker results, Thomas, but if you have a look, you'll probably notice that quite a few people at the top of the leaderboard are from our the Elite Mastermind program, which is cool. So it's good to see that those results are working, and we're taking out the leaderboard, which is great.
Yeah, I'm very aware that our students are currently occupying the very top top spots of this Striker ladder.
Yep, exactly. So before we move on to the no problems, Max, happy to answer your question. Before we move on to the strategy review section, how about we have a little bit of interaction here? Why don't you, in the chat, let us know, what do you do to stay motivated, or which one of the points out of the 5 points we just shared, which one do you plan to implement today? Because this is all about taking action. We're very close to the end of the year. We've got 1 quarter left. So what are you going to do? What will you implement to finish the year strong? Do you have any comments or suggestions? Let us know. We're waiting for your response. And while we're doing that, Thomas, do you have any comments, or do you want to start moving into the strategy review?
We can go to the strategy review because
Yeah.
we promised in the email, guys, we're here also to help you and review your work, your strategy, your portfolio. So this is the first one, first out of 5 streams. So we got already first strategy for the stream, and let's have a look. Let's have a. I think it's from Anson, and let's see what we have here. Okay. So I've received a strategy from. It is from High Grade Cooper, and let me just. Can you still see my window properly?
Yes, we can see the performance graph.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have not received any special advices what to do with the strategy from the author. So I assume I just created a report like this without any commissions, and I will explain and I will tell you how would I assess this strategy. What would be my opinion. So first of all, this is out of sample compiled equity curve. So this is not in sample, like all these parts are out of sample compilation, and for an out of sample equity curve, this is a great equity curve without any hesitation. It's 10 years of history. That means we have on average 45 trades per year. I do like a little bit higher sample size for 10 years, but this is okay. This is like within my range, and I would be totally okay with that. I never mind like stagnations like these, because that's something that happens with any robust strategies, and that's why we create portfolio, because that's the goal of a portfolio, to help you smooth these stagnations. And this is already too perfect. Like I tried in my hedge fund, we have way more zigzag equity curves, because you don't need a perfect equity for every strategy. First of all, if you're trying to achieve a perfect equity with every strategy, you're probably over optimizing. And second, you'll easily smooth your final equity with correlations, with low correlations among strategies. So it's really a waste of time looking for perfect equities, and doesn't even need to be like this. But this is great. Like let me get this clear. This is great. Now let's get and let's have a look on at some numbers. So we're talking. The first one, I always want to see how do we perform long short, the ratio. And sorry, I have a little bit small screen here, so I need to get closer. But I can see that we have 43 and long 40. Short. This is great. Like this strategy trades both sides, long and short, and it trades them equally with almost equal profit factor. This is just outstanding. This is really great. It's hard to find a strategy like this. This is really good. The next
Thomas?
thing I like, yes.
Sorry, can you zoom in the screen a little bit? The magnifying glass up the top right of the window. Yeah, up there. Can you make it larger? Because it's kind of hard to see on the
Yes.
screen. So
I'm just trying to zoom 250. Let me try. That's too much, isn't it?
yeah, just a little bit less.
300. Yeah.
Yes, that's
that's
easier
great.
to see.
Okay. That's great. Even I see it great now. Great.
Thank you.
So the next thing I would like to see is the ratio between the total net profit and maximum drawdown. So I'm all about the close to close day drawdown, like this one, close to close. I'm not preoccupied about day trading drawdown, and this one is about 10k and profit is about 80k. So we're talking about 8 to 1, and this is within my range. Like I like anything between 10 to 1, and 8 to 1 is the minimum that I consider to be a good ratio, and this is a good ratio for me. It's not the best, it's not spectacular, but it's good considering all the other positives, like this balance between long and short. This is something I can forgive, that it's not 10 to 1, but it's 8 to 1, which is still good. The next one I assess is the average trade, because remember, this is all without transactional cost. This is without any commission, and I can see very, very high average trade. Although high grade Cooper can sometimes give you quite a slippage because it is volatile market. 190 can easily handle all the bad scenarios and worse slippages that you can occasionally get in this market. So for this market, it's a absolutely great average trade. I would like to see it at least 120, 130, 140, because this can be a market where you can get a higher slippage. 190 is just brilliant. So far, this is an excellent strategy. The last one I like looking at is the average trade versus average loss ratio, the reward risk ratio, which I really don't like having too low. So average trade here, we have 1,120, and average losing is 952. So we have average win-loss ratio is approximately 1.2. This is on a lower side for me. Like I like 1.8 or better. Like I would like to see about 1,600 average win versus 900 average loss. So even putting this into perspective with 54% or 55% winning percent of winning trades, we're so close to 1 to 1 that it means that if we drop a little bit below 50, then we're basically trading a break-even strategy, if not even slightly losing strategy. And I'm pretty strong about this requirement. Like I always want to see good reward risk ratio, which would be, like, in exceptional cases, I can tolerate 1.5, 1.6, 1.2. It's quite low from my perspective. However, this is what I would do. This, so far, except for this one, it looks like a great strategy. And if I know that I have, let's say, a portfolio of already 8, 9, 10 strategies, I know I have the luxury to afford to put there kind of an unusual strategy, right? Like not your entire portfolio needs to be this super perfect, ideal, by the book strategies assembly. You can throw in some, let's say, on the edge or even rather experimental strategies, which I do even in my hedge fund. Like 20% of our portfolio is with new approaches, experimental approaches that we need to experiment with in live trading, or some strategies on the edge. So if that would be the case, when I already have some portfolio base, again, 7, 8, 9 strategies, this looks so far so good, and I reckon this is a robustness level 3 strategy. So this is robustness level strategy. Then I would put it there, like without any shame, because this looks really good and really powerful. If that would be for a portfolio with my first 3, 4, 5 strategies, I would hold back a little bit. I would rather prefer a strategy with a bit higher average win-loss ratio, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. And I would spare this one for a little bit later, just for sake of my experiences and conservatism that I put into portfolio constructions, with this part being quite crucial for me. So that's what I would do. Otherwise, this is a really great strategy. If we have a look on annual distribution, making pretty much every year, except for the beginning, good money. I really like it. Anson, you've done a great job with this one, with this strategy. And I know that you already are running your portfolio. Definitely a tradable strategy. Well, of course, we would also have to see the multi-market validation, which I did not see here. That could again be additional deal breaker. But so far, what I see, this looks very, very promising, very, very good. So, any other questions regarding this, Andrew?
No, nothing from me. It was good to see you go through and look at the particular performance results of this strategy. So we don't have any questions in the chat about this one. I think you've explained it really well. So thank you very much, Thomas. Did you have any final thoughts about that strategy?
Yeah, just you guys, you feel free to send us your strategies. Just send them to support.bettertraderacademy.com. But please send reports like this, right? Like send us a report like this, or if you have multi-market validation, you can include your multi-market validation. And also tell us some specifics, whether the strategy includes transactional costs, and if you have some particular doubts or questions about a given strategy, let us know as well, and I'll be very happy to share my thoughts about that.
Yep.
Otherwise, we have 4 more sessions to come, so use our time and let us give you feedbacks.
Yep, exactly. So we've got a couple of comments in the chat about what actions people are going to take, and let's have a quick look at these. So first one is SCO. Having a team to work with can be motivating. Absolutely. There's a lot of power in working together. This one from Kings. G'day, Kings. Get my plans in place. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
I like this one from Khalid. Welcome, Khalid. Prioritize building my portfolio so I can go live by Jan 2022.
Nice. And with specific date, I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now also specify how big of a portfolio. 5 strategies, 6 strategies, and you know critically what you want.
Yep. And then comment from Philip. G'day, Philip. Motivation is a real problem. I usually give up. It's definitely a problem for humans. We all have this problem from time to time, don't we, Thomas?
Well, I promised you, Philip, if you would be back to your mom's couch, you probably would all of a sudden find a motivation. And if you could all of a sudden find your motivation, that means it is already there. It is already dormant and it's inside. So just think what really, really is you want. Like really think about it deeply, take your time. And then once you figure out what you want, you'll find the drive to overcome and these obstacles and let the inner drive and fire drive you towards that.
Yeah. One thing I actually do when I have periods where I'm kind of low on motivation is I write down my goals. I write down why I'm doing it. I've got a book that I use every day, which I kind of plan out my day, and at the top there's what am I trying to achieve? And sometimes if I had a rough day or I have a setback or something like that, I go back to, okay, what am I trying to achieve? Look at the bigger picture, and suddenly these day-to-day I guess fluctuations don't seem so bad. So that's one thing I personally do for me. I don't know if it works for everyone else, but I think trying to look at the bigger picture, what are you trying to get to, really helps me with my motivation.
That's great. And the other thing is that, again, visualization can help here quite profoundly. You can also visualize the scenario where you completed your desire or your goal. And then you can visualize the scenario when you gave up. And then when you visualize these two scenarios and put them next to each other, you immediately feel the contrast in these two feelings and energies. And now you can make a very, very, very deliberate choice into which outcome and which energy you want to bite in and stay with. So that's also something that could help you.
Yep. Okay, so moving on, Khalid said at least five strategies for the portfolio. So
Great, man. Go for it. Fantastic.
you'll have
Go
to
for
let us know how you go. We'll be waiting to hear
it.
when you achieve that.
Love
We've got
it. Love it, guys. Love this goal setting. That's it. That's the drive. Go for it.
You're on the hook now, Khalid. You said it publicly. We all know. So you've got to achieve it now.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a question here from Evan. G'day, Evan. Good to see you here.
Hi, Evan.
How about a win-loss ratio of 2, but where the average win percent is between 30 to 40? What are your thoughts about that type of strategy?
Excellent, Evan. Absolutely doable. That's a lot of my strategies are like this. It's not. It's closer to 40%, 38 to 42, 45. So I would stick with this around 40%. And if the ratio is about 1.8 to 2.2, fantastic. Absolutely.
Okay, we've got a few more comments in the chat here. Comment from Jack. I'm not sure if this is a question or not. We'll put it up. Maybe you can specify, Jack, breakout strategy example. Till now, I've only worked with trend following. So I understand that copper strategy we just reviewed was a breakout strategy, wasn't it, Thomas? So
that was a fully breakout strategy.
Let us know exactly what you mean, Jack, and maybe we can do something a little bit more around that for the next show in 2 weeks' time. Okay, now the chat is going like crazy all of a sudden. So great, lots of comments here.
Great.
A little bit more from Khalid, actually. I think this might help motivate people a little bit. So Khalid is currently a student of the Breakout Masterclass. I signed up in July and so far have generated a handful of RL3s on the indices. My goal is to increase the average trade size, which is a good goal. Comment from Hugo about the support. That's right. Sometimes the support is a little bit slow, Hugo. We're working on that at the moment, so apologies if it's not as quick as you would like, but we're trying to fix that one now. So thanks for raising that. Please don't let that stop you.
This is also a form of a support. So you can come up next in 2 weeks and just ask us here.
Yep, absolutely. Khalid has some questions about some of the courses. Maybe we'll, Khalid, if you want to send an email to support@bettertraderacademy.com, and Thomas and I could answer it through that rather than taking up people's time today. So that looks like that's the end of the questions and the comments. So I guess we'll start wrapping up here. If you've got any last minute questions or comments, please post them in the chat. Now, one of the things we're going to do as well as part of this 5-part series is we're going to end with a bit of a motivational quote. I personally love quotes. I don't know about you, Thomas. Do you like them?
Oh yes, sure.
Okay,
always.
So this week or this episode, I've chosen the quote, and I think it's really applies to today's topic. So let me pop it up on the screen. One moment while I get my mouse working. Here we go. I don't know who said this quote. I couldn't find it on the internet, but the quote is, "The distance between your dreams and reality is called action." So it really applies to what we're talking about today. And I know I've seen in the chat some people have already committed to an action, but just take a moment now to think about, what are you going to do? What action are you going to take? Not next week, not next month. What are you going to do today, if possible, depending on what time of the day it is around the world. For me, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, so I've got the day ahead. What action are you going to take, even if it's just a little step, to get from where you are now to where you want to be?
Beautiful. Love it. Yes. And remember, guys, even a small action is action already, right?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't need to be any grand. It just needs to be an action.
Yep. And that's how you build up momentum, right? You got to take a small step after a small step, and it balloons, snowballs into something bigger. So it looks like there's no more questions in the chat, just a lot of thank yous. So that's good. So if you have any questions or comments or things you'd like us to include in the next show, which is, what's the date on the next one, Thomas? Do you know?
I think it's the
2nd
3rd,
November.
2nd of November.
So that'll be for the US and Europe, and the 3rd if you're in Australia or some parts of Asia, I guess. Yeah, if you've got any comments or suggestions, questions, please send them to support@bettertraderacademy.com, and we'll keep those for the next few shows. Now, also don't forget, please give us a big thumbs up on this video on YouTube if you liked it. Hopefully you did, and hopefully what we've shared today is going to be helpful for you in some way. And don't forget to hit subscribe. We're going to be publishing a lot more content on YouTube going forward. So there won't all be live shows like this, but we've got other videos we're going to share. So just want to make sure you don't miss out on those. So hit subscribe and click on the little, I think there's a little bell guy as well, little bell button, and it'll pop up and let you know when we've published anything else. So any last or final closing words, Thomas?
Send us your strategies or whatever you want us to review for the next show. And if you stumble across any questions, keep sending them through the whole week and next week as well, because we will be collecting them, and we will at least have a great idea what to help you with in the next upcoming session on the 2nd of November. So, and remember, you can do it, guys. Like, seriously, work on yourself. Don't give up. Just do what we just said today. That will be a great starting point, and you still can make a lot of outstanding work by the end of this year. It's still plenty of time, so you can do it. We know you can. Seriously.
Absolutely. Let's finish the year strong.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks everyone for joining today. Thank you, Thomas, for this chat. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got up super early in the morning to be here. It was well worth it. So
thank you as well.
Thanks, and thank you very much for everyone in the posting comments and in the chat. And we hope you have a great week, and we'll see you at the next one, October 2. Catch you then. Cheers.
Cheers.